Why are you running for mayor? And I know you did it previously, but this time around again, why are you running for the mayor of Santa Maria?
I'm running for mayor of Santa Maria because I believe that I have a great vision for the center, and I think we need new ideas because while the current group seems to be doing okay, I believe that we have a better future for the city with some more ideas and open minds to bring revenues as well as bringing the people together because our city is grown out of the small town mentality that they currently have in the city, and we need fresh ideas to expand to help the community as a whole.
Why do you feel like you're the best candidate?
I feel that I've been through the fire. I've been in government and have, of course, served on the board. I have the education. I have degrees in organizational management, human resource management with a lot of experience. And I'm a no nonsense type candidate, but I do believe that when you get elected, that you're not running for yourself, but you're running for the people. So I'm a candidate for the people, and I believe I have the tough backbone that it needs to be able to make decisions.
You're running against three candidates, but one of those is the incumbent mayor, has been the mayor since 2012, been on city council since the year 2000, so long time there. Why do you feel like, and I know you touched on this, why do you feel like it's time for a change and someone new to sit as Santa Maria mayor?
Yes, well, I really like Mayor Patino, and I think she's done best, but I just think it's time to have more creative ideas and to put some fresh blood into the city because, again, she's been operating to me off of a scale where she's been dealing with a small town that's obviously outgrown the plan that she had for the city. And I'm not the only one to say that in the recent forum. We've had a lot of the new candidates for city council, so forth, mention that and thinks that the way they're growing the city, because it's not really productive anymore and they're trying to keep it small, is causing revenues to be lost and it's causing the city to have a deficit. It's not because the money is not there, the bills are going, but the way they're building the city and the way they're expanding it is causing deficits instead of causing us to have credit balances on our accounts in the city.
What do you think or believe are the main issues right now facing the city?
Well, the one of the largest is the homeless population. I think that the situation with the migrants hosting camps in the river as you come in our city, I imagine those homeowners are terrified. You've got these guys going out at night, pilfering throughout the city and causing crime, setting fires in the river and all. And it seems like there's not enough focus on getting them out of there. I realize that there are three different jurisdictions in the river, but one thing about Santa Maria as well as the counties around us, if they really want to do something about it, they get together and collaborate and they do something. But to me, I think they've taken a lackadaisical attitude. The second thing, along with that, is we're about to make people homeless if they don't bring the rent control at the trailer parks together because the seniors are on the fixed income and the rents are so high in Santa Maria with no rent control. You've got sometimes two or three families staying in a garage size apartment in ADUs and different buildings. And unless we try to attack this in some way to bring affordable housing, we're going to be in trouble. We get a lot of the contractors that have come to Santa Maria saying they're going to make a low affordable housing. But if you go to the various apartments around, they're paying, $2,000 or $3,000 a month for these apartments, and some of the families living together in multiple families and in two smaller dwellings. And I'm saying if they come, let's see what kind of prices are you going to offer us if you're saying it's going to be affordable. But to say it's affordable and get approved by the city and you can hardly get in there because of the down payment and as well as the rent that you're paying, along with the fact that the income base is not that high in Santa Maria, you're forcing people to live paycheck to paycheck. They miss one paycheck because of the rains or the storms. They could be out on the streets.
How would you describe the current state of Santa Maria?
I think it's stable, but at the same time, I believe that is that the overall productivity of the city is going down. Because we've got a lot of fighting going on. Our fire department, if I'm not mistaken, and my numbers are correct, they're 17% lower on wages than comparable fire departments around. And they tried to get the fire department. They tried to get the city to up on the promises that they made when they took cuts during COVID, and the city is now saying we don't have any money. And again, I think this is the fire department is the keys to helping to keep the city running stably and safely. And I think that that's unfair that the city will initiate a lot of different things, but yet put these guys on the back burner. And that's one of my concerns because I know the job that they do. I've been out personally and spoken with them, been to meetings with them at their firehouses, and have had interaction with them in the community. And I think of all the people in Santa Maria that deserve to be treated fairly, I believe it's the firemen. But then on the flip side, while they're hauling, they can't give to the firemen. If you look at the administration of the city, they're top heavy as far as dollars are concerned. So there has to be a way to balance this out. And I think that fair mediation with them and putting the cards on the table and being able to give them something of a new contract that is meaningful, I think that this could be done, but the powers that be have to be willing to do so.
And I was going to ask you about the firefighters in a few questions. I'll ask you that when it comes up, but let me move on here real quick. You mentioned the deficit, and Santa Maria is facing right now a fairly large, very significant budget deficit, up to about $20 million. Tell people why this is important, why this affects them, and also what can be done to fix that.
Yes, well, I'll use the words of Mr. Ortiz, who's running for city council. He's a professional city developer, graduated from Berkeley, and he does city development, making sure they try to get income and so forth in. And he told the city leaders, including Mayor Patino, at the Casablanca Trailer Park meeting, that the reason he believes that the city of Santa Maria is in a deficit is because of the way the city is being built and the way they're doing things. And it's almost scary what they're doing, and as far as trying to get money. For example, told him, I'm thinking about widening my garage, my driveway to go to my garage, and I said I could see a couple of $100 or $200 or $300 to have to pay for a permit, and they were telling me basically it's almost going to cost me $3,000 to put a driveway skirt down, and I was like, this is ridiculous. But the city takes in a lot of money, and every time they say they are that they only have a $2 or $3 million deficit, but they'll sell water or they'll sell whatever assets they're selling in the city, they come back and say now the deficit is tripled. And I'm saying this is either poor management or this is just something that's wrong with the way they're doing their systems to bring in money. And also, I mentioned about the ballpark, which the multi-purpose park that they say they're going to be building. I said we need to bring in things for the young people that can bring in revenue. We do a lot of car shows, but we're putting these shows in parking lots that are too small. We do a lot of things that could bring in revenue, the soccer and so forth, but the city has to find a way to get money to invest so that they can receive revenues that will cause us not to have a lot of deficits and so forth. But until they change the small town mentality and look at things on a wider scale, it's going to be the same old, same old.
The city right now is currently in the process of finally seeing the long proposed downtown redevelopment really start to begin. What are your thoughts on what's happening in the downtown area, and really what would you like to see happen in this area moving forward?
They're doing a good job as well as beautifying, but then at the same time, and you can look on my website, which is a Voice for Change Santa Maria on Facebook, and you can see that for all the years that I've ran, I've spoken about the development of the downtown area. A lot of old buildings are there that need to be upgraded. I brought the concerns of how the city is letting tall grass grow. It's making the city look pretty bad. And Now they're adding on these new places, but I don't really see where they have the parking for it. And with the homeless problem, it's all concaving in on the city to say the good that they're doing, they're not taking care of things that needed to be dealt with before they start all this new development. And again, they don't seem like they have the proper infrastructure to support what they have.
What would you like Santa Maria to look like in about say 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Yes, I'd like to see them open up and develop on the east end of the freeway. I know the farmers wouldn't be happy about that, but I believe that through collaboration and so forth, they can come to some conclusions where they can eminent domain that property or either work out a deal. They don't have to go through that where the city can buy and expand just like Oxnard did. Because right now, our whole west side is so impacted. It's like if they put anything else in there, it would be like trying to put a gallon of wine in a quart jar. It's just too tight right now. You can go San Maria High School. They're trying to build on that, and they don't even have parking. They're trying to keep the small city mentality, but we've got too many people for that. We've got to find areas to expand.
What does Santa Maria currently not have or is missing that you would like to see happen or come here in the future?
I don't think we have enough infrastructure to attract top-notch companies and accommodate their families. Right now, the way it looks to me, it's just my opinion. What are you going to tell the corporate man that brings his family? What do you want your kids to do? Join the West Park gang or use these outdated facilities? There's nothing for them to do. We need to bring in things for the youth or people even between the ages of 18 to 45. The sports center would be great to start off, but we need to get some infrastructure for young people as well as the new incoming people that are highly impacting the city, and they're mostly young adults.
And then touching on the firefighters, I know you mentioned it previously, but I mean, certainly, as you know, they've been in some contract negotiations or contract dispute for several months now. What is your opinion on public safety, particularly those firefighters, and how would you like to see this be resolved here moving forward?
Yeah, being former law enforcement, public safety to me is one of the number one things on my list. The response, because of the growth of the city, the response time for the police department sometimes is atrocious. I know that personally because where I live, we've had a lot of break-ins and so forth. And calling the cops, you'd be lucky if they show up in 45 or 50 minutes. So that's a problem. And I know Mark Snyder, I know him personally, the police chief, and I'm sure he's doing all that he can. But I would be really looking at having prior law enforcement experience. I would like to see what they're doing so I can understand the direction that they're heading. But I think that they can do a little bit more restructuring to make things better, smoother for the city. But it's also a hard challenge to bring in new law enforcement people because the background checks and so forth are more washout than they get hired. So I know they've got those challenges, but until I can actually see what they're trying to do and then analyze it and bring it to the council, and we can see what we can do maybe to help them out as well as the fire department, then we're right now we're just at a standstill level until we find out so we could compare apples to apples. Oh, you there?
I'm still here. Yes.
Okay, till we yeah, it says join the meeting. Yeah, so we till until we can find out what they do have and then adjust to see what we can need or maybe what we can do to improve what's going on.
Just two more questions for you, Will. A vote for you is a vote for what?
It's a vote for the people because again, I believe in collaboration with the people that the problems, the situations are involved. And my outside looking in view of the city right now is they do things and they give it to the people and say more or less, this is what we're going to give you. But I believe that you can get better participation out of the people as well as resolve problems if you bring the people affected into a council meeting or a community meeting or whatever it takes so that we can get their ideas. We may not be able to use them all, But I think if people see that we really mean well for them and we're trying to do what we can, I think we'll come out a lot better. And the biggest thing I'm saying is we can't tax the people to death to get out of our situation when there are other ways to do it without taxing them to death.
And then final question, kind of open-ended. What would you like people to know about you, your campaign again? Anything else you want to say regarding the race?
Yes, my thing I want people to know, there's been a lot of a lot of talk about me in a negative way, and that's just the good old boy network that's in Santa Maria, and I make no qualms about mentioning it, and because half the things they say aren't true, but because of the nature of the good old boy system that's in Santa Maria, rumors spread. But I'm a candidate that will fight for them. They can look at my record on the Bonita, getting the two-story buildings retrofitted so our kids are safe, having the Bonita invoke Spanish translation through a private owner in there, and helping to work to bring about the bilingual programs and a lot of other things that I've done that are not mentioned. If they know that I will fight for the people and try to bring the things that we need. And I'm not a fan of popular opinion. I like to look at what's going on, discuss it, and then come to a decision, and then be very transparent and let people know what we did and how we did it and how we came to the conclusion. I don't believe in doing things in the dark and just sticking it to people. So I'm the candidate that fighting for the people with transparency.
Thank you for your time, Will.